Now, when most of us think of the real founding fathers, we think of the Second Continental Congress. This was the group that did it all. They started at this point in 1775. They're the ones that created the Declaration of Independence. They're the ones that created the Articles of Confederation, the beginnings of our government. They're the ones that ruled the brand new country, the United States of America. This is the real hardcore founding father actions. Now, they gathered in response to the Battle of Lexington and Concord, saying this is unacceptable that we would fight, that the British troops are actually going to attack our people. It's, not so much whether we need to decide whether to declare war. War's already started, but we need to decide what to do. And there was actually quite the debate. In this debate, there were a lot of people that weren't sure what to do. There were a lot of people who still said, no. We don't need to declare independence because then Britain is going to come and attack us. We just need to talk to them, and if we talk to Britain, we'll work it out. We just need to tell them that some of these things are wrong. But there were certain men among them that decided, no, not at all. We need to make sure that we declare our independence. We can't work with the British anymore. So a couple of big things that the Second Continental Congress did. First of all, there's some main players, especially people like John Adams. John Adams was from Boston. John Adams was there, and he was one of the big, strong pushers for independence, and he fought hard. He was one of the very outspoken people that tried to convince some of the other states, especially states like Virginia and South Carolina, some of those other states that were a little bit more loyal to Britain and didn't really want to declare independence. He was very forceful in talking about the bad things that had happened, how Britain is treating the colonial people, and this is not acceptable anymore. They met. Once the Battle of Lexington and Concord happened, they realized pretty clearly that war had already been declared, that the British were already fighting us, they moved to decide to declare independence. One of the things that they did do was, this was the group that made George Washington. George Washington was there at the beginning of this Congress. But they asked George Washington to go be the leader of the armies. It was the Second Continental Congress that gave George Washington the power. And in the middle of the Congress, right as the Congress started, they sent him to Boston to be ahead of the troops. And we'll talk about that in the next packet when we talk about the Revolutionary War. So George Washington was sent to be the leader, the general of the armies during this time by the Second Continental Congress. They are also the ones that signed the Declaration of Independence. Now, we'll read this, but they got a message from King George that said, we understand that there's some of you who want to be free and independent. And that's not the case. We will kill any of you that do. But if you come back, we'll accept you. But any of you that follow through on this, you are an enemy of the state and we will kill you. So it was pretty clear what King George's intentions were. But they did. They voted on July 2nd, 1776. But I thought our country was born on July 4th. It was, but July 2nd was actually the real day that they voted on the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson wrote it up. We're going to read the Declaration of Independence in the next packet. Thomas Jefferson wrote it up, and all the people signed it. It was finalized, signed on July 4th, 1776, and that's where we get the birthday of the United States of America. Important document. We'll read it in the whole next chapter. It's I think, one of the most profound documents that's ever been written. But it was really voted on July 2nd. In fact, John Adams wrote a letter to his wife that says, I think July 2nd is going to be a great national holiday and we'll celebrate it every year. Well, he was right. We do celebrate it every year, but we don't celebrate it on July 2nd. We celebrate it on July 4th. So this Second Continental Congress was the group that moved forward and really became the first government of the brand new United States of America.